In this tutorial, what we're going to do is take a look at using something called pipes. A pipe, put simply, is the ability in Linux to take the output of one program and feed it in as input for another one. And the way I'm going to demonstrate that practically just here is I'm going to do it a little bit like this. I'm going to teach you maybe 3 very easy to use commands, very simple ones, and then we're going to hopefully try and chain them together to do something a little bit more powerful. So on my computer at the moment, what I've got is I've created a file called fruits.txt, and inside it, all I've done is I've listed off a bunch of different fruits. Okay, so there they are, and you can see they're in no particular order, just here like that. So one of the really useful things to be able to do is to sort things out. If you imagine you've got a huge big list of users or something like that, it might be quite nice to have them in, for example, alphabetical order. So our first program I want to teach you is sort. Very simple to use, designed to be quick and easy and convenient. I can go sort fruits. And what that'll do is that sorts them very, very quickly into alphabetical order. With their sort as well, you've got the ability to reverse the order of a sort. Lots of different programs in Linux have lots of different options that come with them. So for instance with sort, if I put -r like that, just before I put the name of my file, that tells the computer I'd like to reverse the order of the results. So you can now see W at the top, A at the other end. Lovely. The actual file itself, my fruit file, if I cat it again, is unaffected. I haven't actually changed it. It's still the original file. It's untouched, but I just temporarily saw it sorted onto the screen. And we can chain things together. So for example, if I wanted to keep a nice sorted list, I could do my sort of my fruits. I'll keep them in alphabetical order this time, and the results of that, rather than showing on the screen, I could redirect that into sorted fruit, like so, and I've now got a new file, sorted fruit, that contains all my fruit, all sorted into order. So that's one command. Command 1 is sort. Okay. The next thing I want to look at is this. With my fruit list, I've probably got about 20 different pieces of fruit in there. And okay, that's not a huge amount, but what if it wasn't? What if I'd got a catalogued list of every single fruit that existed in the world? I imagine that would run to be quite a large list, and I might want to only see the first few fruits I ever stored or the last few fruits I ever stored. To have a quick look at a little bit of a bigger file, we can use head and tail like this. Okay, so head fruits.txt. So you'll notice now I only see the first 10 items. That's my original list look, and there's all those extra ones. I've only seen the first 10 items from my list. Or I could use tail and only see the last 10 items from the list. Just like when you do a sort, it doesn't have to be 10. 10 is the default, but if I go on then here, and on this one, it's -n and for number of, and maybe I only want to see the last 3 fruits that are in my list. Or maybe I want to see only the first 2 fruits that are in the list. I could do something like that. Now, we've got 3 new commands then. We've got head, we've got tail, we've got sort, and hopefully you'll find those fairly straightforward and fairly easy to understand. Let's look at how we can use pipes with them then. Let's imagine a situation where I would like to see the first 3 fruits on my list, or when the list is ordered alphabetically. So sort them into order and then show me the top 3. That would be okay, that would be useful. So what I would need to do is this. I would need to first of all show the actual list of fruits like that. So that would print the list of fruits onto the screen. But rather than doing that, I want to collect those fruits as they get thrown onto the screen. So I'm going to use this pipe. That's shift and the pipe key. Pipe key, depending on your keyboard, is either located somewhere over on the right hand side of the screen near the shift key, or somewhere on the left hand side of the screen up in the top corner. So I'm going to put a pipe per cat, so fruits. So if I just had that command and nothing else, it would show me the entire list. What I now want to do is I want to sort my list of all my fruits alphabetically, so I don't need that that -r switch, I need to reverse it. And then once I've got them all sorted, I only want to see the first few, so maybe the first 3 fruits alphabetically. So I've taken all the list, I've sorted it into order, and then I've just peeled off, well, there's an N on there, doesn't it? I've just peeled off the first 3 in the list. Let's try it. Apple, blackberry, blueberry. And so hopefully we realise now we could be a little bit more creative with this. Maybe actually I'd like to see the last 5. instead. We could do that, and so that would give us that. Or if I wanted to, I could sort them in reverse order, do something like that. And then once I've sorted them into reverse order, I could pick the last 5 off the list then, so that would make sense, wouldn't it? You'd expect the rest of the list to scoot up the way. So we can do it like that. It doesn't have to be text files either. You could quite literally pipe pretty much any command into any other command. So let's try and have a little bit of fun with it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick Google search for a nice big text file. I'm going to grab Hamlet Shakespeare play. And I'm trying to find a text version of it, so all the formatting, all that stripped out, so it's just literally the words of Hamlet. Here we go, and here we go, we've got full score of Hamlet right here. So I'm going to take the address of that web page, and I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go into my terminal window, and I'm going to do a wget, short for webget. You can do this with anything from the web. And I'm going to do a paste, like that, hit enter, and that will be downloaded to my computer. So I've now got hamlet.txt on my machine, and I could cat that. There it is. And I could take out just the last 10 lines or so of Hamlet. There they are. Or I could pull out the first 10 lines of Hamlet. There they are, that's the first 10 lines of the file, which is really, really nice. And there's other commands as well with Linux you can use. So one of the commands that works on some computers, but not all, is say. Now what say does is it says things out loud, a bit like this.
Hello there.
Which is pretty cool. Now that, if you ask me, is absolutely begging for a bit of piping. So maybe what I need to do is to cat Hamlet, and then pipe it through say.
1604. The Tragedy of Hamlet, Prince of Denmark.
Now, I just used Control and C there just to kill that. But if I left that to run, I'd imagine that would probably, over the space of the next 2 or 3 hours, read out all of Hamlet for me. And one of the things that's quite fun to do is to SSH, to connect to somebody else's computer, download a nice big story, and then have it read it to them out loud. The first time you do it to people, they won't be expecting it, and it will catch them a bit by surprise. So what we're seeing here then is this ability to chain all these different commands together. Let's take a look now at the badge task and see what we can take from that for today. To get the silver badge for this particular week's tasks, what you'll need to do is use the skills from the last tutorial. So that's going to be to change into your own My Documents directory, and then to use a redirect using the greater than symbols that we did before to create a file. To get the gold badge, what you'll need to do is to use another command that you're not familiar with. That's the whole thing with Linux, is you don't always need to understand things, what individual commands do, as long as you can apply the ideas that we're teaching you here. So to get this badge, what you'll do is you'll run this ps-aux command. It'll show loads of output onto the screen. Don't worry about what it means, but to get the badge, you'll need to take a redirect of the last 10 items, and then you'll need to put those into a file. So you'll need to use a combination of redirect and pipe to be able to do that. The final one is the platinum badge. To do that one, what you'll need to do is to take your command history. You can get your command history anytime you like by typing the word history. It just pumps it all out onto the screen, everything you've typed. And what you'll need to do for the badge is to produce your command history in reverse order, and then, this is the clever bit, to show only the first 10 and the last 20 commands that you've entered. Alright, the first 10 and the last 20 commands. So you might have to do that by doing a couple of separate commands. Again, if you reread the notes, you'll find that you can use one greater than symbol, or you can use 2 when you perform redirects. So there's a little clue for you that might help you if you come to the platinum task. So that's pipes in Linux.